Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. This is Gypsy Jess with your Art of Tarot, and I am so excited to be home after a long trip. Anyone who has subscribed recently, you'll see that this is a little different layout. I had been traveling for work for the last 3 weeks and doing on-the-road readings, so I was very limited in my cards and my space, but now I'm home in my space. I'm rejuvenated after a week of mental and spiritual detox. You know, sometimes you'll see I will fall off from readings, and that's because, you know, life or for whatever reason, I'm processing heavy energies or I'm feeling exhausted. I'm not a reader that is going to pump out regularly scheduled. I'm going to pump out as I feel called to. Sometimes that'll be a lot, sometimes that'll be a little and in between, but I appreciate you sticking around to see what's coming up. As you can see, I have the piles that I was drawn to, or the cards rather that I was drawn to. These will be the main cards with which I'm going to read today. And if you stick around for later tonight, I think I'm going to do, or attempt to do, a live passion reading, or what is it they truly desire. And we're going to bring out some of the more, we're going to bring out the art of sexual tarot, and a couple other kind of sexy or passionate themed decks that I have. And we're going to read on some passion energies. It is also my intention, either tonight or in the next few days, to get out the messages you need from Spirit right now reading. So that'll be a pick a pile. So stay tuned for that. Now, before I get in any further, you see I have this lovely little key sitting out top. While I was traveling, I had a nice intensive Reiki session done. If you're unfamiliar with Reiki, it's an energy practice, and this key I got to choose afterwards out of a bunch of different keys, just as a reminder and a connection to the session. And mine was deeply about grounding, and that may speak to the overall energies with the divine feminines, or even masculines, right? Remember, divine feminine and masculine energies are within all of us, but that might be a theme that all of us are kind of experiencing right now, feeling very untethered, kind of up in that spiritual realm, a lot of change going on in our current 3D environment. So maybe just a reminder and a message for some of you there to stay disciplined with your spiritual practices, but make sure that you're grounding those things in the 3D. Whether that's with divine action, right? So if we're getting downloads to do something, to share our energies, to share our messages with people, and then we keep them to ourselves, we're not grounding those messages, right? We're letting them float up in the ether. Or you're spending maybe too much time in your spiritual practices, isolated. That might be the expression, just going out, being with people, sharing your positive, beautiful energy in a time of darkness right now. Because there is a lot of very heavy, dark spiritual energy kind of floating around now. It's just the time. So a message for someone that I wanted to share there. Now, before we get started, you know the drill. If you've been with me, take a nice big deep breath. And allow yourself to be open to any signs, synchronicities, messages, animals, maybe even a deck at this point that you may be super drawn to, and allow yourself to be open to any messages that might come through in that manner, right? That's something to allow you to really connect that to yourself, right, as a synchronicity for you. But just go ahead and do that right now. Take a couple of big deep breaths. If you're driving, please don't take too many deep breaths. And just let the day go. 444 on the timestamp when I said that. Let the day go. Whatever you're carrying the week, let that go. And allow yourself to be open Open to the messages that you need to hear for yourself right now. And remember that this is all just guidance from the past, the present, and the future that you are intended to use your own intuition for. And if it doesn't resonate, if it doesn't align, then don't take it. It's not yours. All right. And on that note, let's get started. Welcome back, you guys. With that little break there, I just took a second to reorganize the table. All right, so you weren't looking at a bunch of cards. We're gonna start with a couple of decks and some overarching themes, and then go into a deeper read from there. As always, I shuffle off camera, but I always want to show you on camera that I'm still shuffling, right? To make sure you see that this is never staged. I am an intuitive energy reader. That means I pick up on energies, messages in the collective when it's a collective reading. For any of those of you that have gotten individual readings with me, I know I have a few on there, you know that I connect to your energy directly. You'll hear a nice little crackle outside. That is my divine masculine doing some burning, which I love when I'm reading because all those smells come in and it helps me read a little bit more. Also, it is my birthday tomorrow, so I will be doing some birthday readings for my Pisces. I'm generally not a horoscope reader, just too many out there, so. All right. Now, before I got started, for any of you who subscribe to me, you'll see that I posted a prayer passage to just before this reading, and it was it was very much a powerful twin message of connection. I flip open to my prayer book and connect before I get started, and it was powerful twin union energy coming through. So perhaps this reading will be about harmonizing and twins, perhaps it won't, but take a look at that message, see if you connect to it. If so, please like, subscribe, so these messages get to the greater the collective that they are intended to. Also, keep in mind that once I get 100 subscribers, I will be giving out some free readings. So on that note, let's see what we've got coming through for the collective. The shadow attribute of the goddess. Actually, we're gonna put that over here. Got two there. Light attribute of the rebel. Light attribute of the hermit. Beautiful, all right. With that green coming out, that's been a big color connection for me lately. A lot of heart opening. I was actually thinking about putting on my malachite ring before I started, and I didn't. But, all right, so right off the bat, we've got the light attribute of the hermit, the light attribute of the rebel, and the shadow aspect of the goddess. So, some inward work, some rebellious energy. Let's see what we have coming through, Spirit. What do we need to know today? Five of Pentacles in reverse. Knight of Cups. Pisces energy. 'Tis their time. Queen of Pentacles. Two Cups in reverse. More of that green and gold. Interesting, all the colors coming through. Notice we have a lot of red, a lot of green, light green coming through. That's why I call this the art of tarot, because there's so much richness in the messages that come through and the cards on so many levels. Ooh, that one fell on the floor. More cups. Nine of Cups in reverse. We're going to clarify with my new Sacred Web Tarot. I got this while I was traveling. I traveling. I absolutely love it. It's a very different kind of artwork, however, so I may need to go to the book. Spirit, help me clarify these messages. I'm getting a lot of water right off the bat, though. I want to say this card is called Activation. I could be wrong. Seer of water. Lots and lots of water coming through. You may be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. A person that you're watching for, cross-watching for, maybe a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But we also have a lot of earth. A lot of earth coming through. Getting, I feel like Libra, Taurus. Wow. This one, the web, I feel like a lot of feminine goddess energy coming through. And remember, whatever I say, the reason I show you the cards is so that any other additional messages that come through that are intended for you are for you to divine as well. So if you were looking for signs, we have buffalo, wolf, spider. Colors, we have red and greens all across the board. Lots of fruit coming through. All right, I'm also going to grab this oracle deck. I got this while I was traveling as well. A local artist who was just fantastic. Just beautiful artwork that I was super drawn to. What is it called? This one is called the Visions Oracle deck. And I have Joanne tagged below, the artist. We have a cat there, a cat with many legs, a very enlightened cat, mushrooms. That one definitely looks like something you'd see when you're on the mushrooms. Meditate, more connections. Look at that, all the yin-yangs coming through. The yin-yang might be a sign for you. I definitely felt, like I said, some harmonizing, some twin energy. Before we started, owl protection. Let's get one more here. And shift reality. Dimensional shift. That is something that I posted, tagged that post with. So definitely read that post that I put up right before this reading and see if any of that pertains to you. All right, you guys, I paused the video there just for a second because I wanted to make sure I knew all the names of those. And then I realized I had shorted this group right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull one more card and then get into the reading here, okay? Discipline, the elephants. All right, now we are here. So as for signs, like I said, we have the buffalo. These are actually huskies. I said wolves before. We have a spider, and cat, an owl, feather, elephants, the root chakra. And I'm gonna say right off the bat, so I know that I am speaking to someone, whether masculine in body or feminine body, that is currently feeling out of balance. You know, I started this reading talking about being rooted with that key, and that's exactly what we see here, a need to root. So we start off here with someone who's previously probably felt kind of out in the cold, and I feel a general separation, a separation from the world, and I definitely get the sense of someone who's going through a major spiritual awakening and is probably feeling a little detached from all the things that they're used to. Also maybe a struggle I don't want to say detached from the heart per se, because we see a lot of that with the green here. There's definitely a lot of healing taking place, and a lot of healing taking place in the root chakra. That's where we see the red, and that's also where we see the major imbalance coming through with the shadow attribute of the goddess. So this is someone who exploits the female nature and form, and the female nature is an intuitive nature. So there is a slight misuse of spiritual gifts, a slight misuse of intuition going on here. Someone who recognizes that they're a deeply spiritual being, right, and are intensely connected to spirit, the cosmos, and who are dreaming up a new reality. And we see that here with the shift in reality, but who is also maybe abusing some of that power in the 3D, and that's where we need to connect the head and the heart. We need to connect the feminine and the masculine in the 3D world. So we have someone who has, in the recent past, or perhaps even presently, felt in a scarcity mentality. So whatever that, a poverty mentality, and that can be in all realms of oneself, right? But who's beginning to release this, who's in their connection, in their growing connection to the divine, is dreaming up a new reality. We have this third eye really coming on, to coming into power, right? Coming into balance, but coming online. And we have here the pine cone and the infinity symbol, and that's a spreading of the seed. And I get someone here who has probably a very strong star seed connection. If that's a new term to you, by all means look it up, but who has a direct bloodline to kind of our star family, okay? And I do believe that that is a lot of people, if not all humans, and that there is a dimensional shift happening, and we see a reality shift, you know, a progression happening here. But with these mushrooms really standing out to me in this vision, these the blues and the purples, and in this dream card, perhaps that's something that you're being called to kind of explore, the psychedelic realm. And you know, there's lots of reasons not to do that, especially if you have a predisposition in your family for schizophrenia. Perhaps don't do that. But if you know, there's a really good book by Michael Pollan. It's How to Change Your Mind, and it talks about major neurological health benefits that come with the use of psilocybes, right? Psilocybin-based mushrooms, and the blue in them actually relates, or is the psilocybin compound. And I don't know why that's coming through so strongly for me here with this card, perhaps because they're in there, but that may be something for you to explore, for you to look into, because with that 50, that 5 and the 5 here, that may be very integral into changing, into reprogramming this mentality of lack, right? Or releasing this mentality of lack, of poverty, and dreaming up a new reality. So just a message there for some of you. But some major changes taking place, and a heart opening that's coming with it. With the Knight of Cups, not quite as mature in those emotions as the King of Cups or the Queen of Cups per se, but definitely an awareness, a deeper awareness of one's own emotions and the emotions of those around them. And this is where we see with the Seer of the Water, and the rose. The rose, to me, that's definitely a connection to the heart, but it's also attached, we see, to that root chakra, the red and the red. So if you're unfamiliar with that, the root chakra is your base chakra. It's connected to a lot of sexual trauma, childhood trauma, issues of abandonment or abuse, neglect, things like that. But it's also a neglect of oneself, right? And I said before, right before I started, there was maybe a need for some people to ground, and this is the exact chakra that you would get ground through. So a call for some discipline in terms of these practices of grounding and processing these emotions that are coming up for release, right? Because that is coming through very clearly. perhaps even a call to meditate here, meditate on those emotions, right? And allow oneself to come into balance, as we see with the yin and the yang there, the masculine and the feminine energies. So like I said before, whether you're a masculine in body or feminine body, it doesn't matter. The message is the same. You're being called to balance, the head and the heart, balance your emotions with the body. Another really great book is, what is it called? The Body Holds the Score. And it's a great book on trauma. And ooh, hear that horn going off in the background? I would say that's a big sign for someone here. The Body Holds the Score is definitely a book that some of you should look into, as that sign, that horn continues to go off. This is where the body will continue to call us, will continue to signal, right, until we listen. And that alarm was very apropos right now for that message. And I do believe that for some of you, probably a lot of you coming across this video right now, you're being called to really dig into that root trauma, right? That root trauma. And I'm hearing pull out the root and set new roots. Set new roots. And, when it comes to gardening, something I know for myself in the past year, I have been extremely drawn to. When it comes to growing something, right? We have to plant the seed, attend the soil, but the seed cannot take hold in an environment that's not good, that's not healthy, that's not rich. So it's taking care of the soil. It's having the patience to plant the seed and not dig it up constantly to look and see if it's changing. It's a process. It's a process of healing. And I do sense that I'm speaking to someone who's going through a lot of healing right now. And perhaps, like I said before, perhaps the use of cybocillin and meditation will help you in creating a new reality and really digging into and reprogramming, reprogramming some of these root chakra issues or beliefs. And as we move forward, the Queen of Pentacles, this is an earth-based queen. She's connected to the plants, the animals, but also money. And with her being in reverse here, I do sense someone who's out of balance with the universal self. Here you have the Magician. That's what this card is called, the Magician with the spider. And we have kind of the overall web of life, the web of the universe, the neurological web that we find within the body, but also in dark matter throughout the universe. This is someone who's feeling a disconnect. I'm sorry, my nails are, my goodness. Who's feeling a disconnect with all of those things within themselves and outside of themselves. Remember that your reality, the reality around you, is just a projection. I say that right in front. Didn't even realize I was holding that card. The projection is just a projection of your inner reality. So you're really, like I said, being called to address the root issues that are keeping you from grounding, not only in this reality, but the 4D, the 5D, the universal reality around you, because that's how you change your world. That's how you change your projection. There's not one world, there's just 8 billion different versions of it, because everyone's world is their own. And those projections, those unhealed issues, right, root issues, those are also the ones that we like to project onto others. And the owl, this is a messenger, a symbol of spirit and of wisdom, right? And I do feel that this is a deeply spiritual person, but also a deeply spiritual message right now of someone who is going through an intense spiritual awakening and who's maybe struggling to align that head and heart, or even some old beliefs. We have the rebel here in the light attribute, and that's someone who challenges authority to affect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve their inner needs. So this may be also someone who was raised in a very a strict religious background, upbringing, and with going through the spiritual awakening, with going through these root issues, or even, like I said, the use of meditation or the medicine aside was selling, because that's really what it is. It's an ancient medicine used by indigenous cultures all over the world, and one that was kept secret for a very long time because of its sacred connection, and one that really challenged the church, and why it was pushed underground by especially the Catholic Church in Mexico, where we think many people think that psilocybin comes from, or those particular types of mushrooms. Because it challenged the outer authority. And I do think that this is something that you may be getting called to meditate on right now as well, because there's a shift happening. There's a shift happening through the greater collective of starseeds, of those who are intended to raise this light and bring change to the world as a whole, as the universe to a whole. And you know, if you are drawn to my channel, particularly this reading, any of my other readings, you know I read for very big energies. And that's why I feel like my channel is, you know, very slow and steady, is because, you know, not everybody's there yet. Not everybody is connected to the greatness of their power in this universal light. And this person that I'm speaking to, I'm sorry, this is coming out quite quickly, but there's an intense energy that I feel right now coming through this. And I do think that this is related to a major spiritual shift, because here we have the shifting reality. We have the wheel. This is actually the wheel in this particular deck, with the two huskies, and the spider web again, the web of life, the neurological system, dark matter in the universe, the connection to absolutely everything in the universe, in reality. And there's an imbalance here with two cups. A lot of people always relate this to love, but this is, to me, this is soul as well, soul mates. And with these three together and this clarification happening, I do think that there is a sadness and a disconnect with the deeper part of someone's soul here. And that soul wound is preventing a reality shift that's needing to take place. Someone who's still living in an old paradigm that does not suit them anymore. And that's why you may be feeling restless, you may be feeling depressed, you may be feeling very sad, because you're awakening to something else. And when you wake up, you know, all the pain that comes with that, the pain that you've been suppressing through being a workaholic, through drinking too much, through generally just being disassociated with the body, all that pain, the collective pain of, you know, what we do to Mother Earth, that comes through, and that comes through very, very strongly, and that can be a very heavy burden and difficult to deal with. And so there may be some heartbreak coming through, you know, with the awakening of these root issues. And, you know, I'm sending you a lot of love right now. Actually, before I started, I have a lot of amethyst on the table, my new amethyst that I just got, and a lot of rose quartz, and these two together promote self-love. And I do feel that I'm speaking to someone who's needing to ground themselves, ground these emotions, who really is awakening to their divinity. And there may be some struggle with some of that self-love aspect, and that's why we still see some of this distorted feminine coming through, the misuse of the body, right? Who is still thinking that their body or their sexuality makes them worthy, makes them beautiful, makes them powerful. And, you know, obviously we all feel our outside world is an expression of our inner world. And when we feel great on the outside, that can be a reflection of, you know, how we feel on the inside. That's true. But there's still some distortion being asked to heal here. And I do think that has to relate with the sexual body that's being stored in the physical body here. Also any heartbreaks, any root heartbreaks. And that's why we see this wheel being out of balance here, because that's creating a distorted reality. And in order to shift this reality, it's about coming a healing, right? Healing and connecting to the planet. This 10 of, I guess, Ten of yin and yangs here, and the buffalo. The buffalo is a very powerful Native American symbol. The white buffalo especially, a very sacred symbol. Maybe that's one for you to look up. And the elephant. These are very, very powerful beings, herd beings that are in tune with the natural guidance of the universe. You know, they migrate based on their needs, based on something that's programmed within them. And with the Nine of Cups coming up in reverse here, progressing down into that ten of Pentacles, I feel, again, someone who's been out of balance with themselves, who's really struggling with a self-love and independence, and that's needing to come into connection with the whole, right? So if you've been doing some healing, you know, wonderful job, and that is coming across here. I do want to say that, and we see that with the rebelling, right? The rebelling and the hermit, going inward, seek solitude to focus intently on inner life, and this serves personal creativity. And you know, you can even see it there with all the little crisscrosses outside of the house, all the inner blocking, the web, right? It's even the colors are the same. That outer web, the universal web that's around in all of things, and someone who's needing to going inward. And we see it there with the root, the red, the orange, the yellow chakras, someone who's being really triggered right now to heal, and that is healing. And with all that green coming through, I see that's having a wonderful effect on your heart. A wonderful effect on your heart. But now that heart is needing to be connected to the root issue, and this is going to require a little bit more self-discipline. We have that 31 that reduces down to 4, and that's about balance, the balance for seasons, right? It's also the divine masculine. So again, a call to come into balance with oneself, with one's masculine and feminine energies, and particularly the feminine body, right? Like we said, we have the goddess, the shadow aspect of the goddess here in reverse, and asked to continue to go inward and connect to that intuition, that sacred knowing, that sacred connection with the whole. Because I do feel like I'm speaking to a very, very powerful priestess energy, the magician. The universe is asking you to co-create with them right now. I mean, we always are co-creating with the universe. I just noticed that candle went out, and for some of you that might be the case. You may feel like you're tired or your fire has gone out, and that's why we see some of this imbalance here in that root chakra, wanting to find fire and passion, and that's completely normal. You know, we have a lot of fire and water on the table here, and when those things come together, that can be a storm, and sometimes that we feel like that can extinguish our light. But you're being reborn. You're being reborn in a new light, your own light, this powerful universal light. We see the stars here and the web in the world and the shifting of reality. And I just feel so strongly that I'm speaking to a very, very powerful starseed, a very powerful manifester, someone who is really being called to connect with, you know, their own divinity, and really continue to focus, because I can tell there's a lot of work that has and is being done here, but continue to focus on healing root issues and self-love. You know, I was called to mention 2 books during this reading already, and perhaps those are ones that you may want to look into. Please mention in the comments if those are ones that you're familiar with. But that is the message that is coming through. Now, I am going to pull some twin flame activation cards and then some self-love mantra cards and see if those can help us resonate a little bit more. But I do hope this is helping, my loves. Big energies coming through as always. Also, tell me how you think about the wider spread today so you can see more of the cards, or if it's too far away, I'd love to hear your feedback. But some beautiful growth, some beautiful expansion, some painful expansion, some painful rebirth happening here, but also some very beautiful and very powerful things. You guys, if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that elephants are a major animal that I relate to And, you know, the matriarch is the one that runs the herd. And I do see a lot of feminine, right? More healing on the feminine. And this goes to relate whether you are male in body or female in body, it does not matter, right? Reconnecting to the earth, Mother Earth, intuition, the universal whole. And maybe in some alternative spiritual practices that you wouldn't normally be drawn to, as I said. So, and with that, how funny, my system in the background just paused. Let's see what comes through. Enter your vortex, aligning with infinite abundance. Here again, 1010. This is what you're being called to do right now. And look at all the beautiful white, pure flowers coming through. Enter your vortex. You are a vortex. You are an energy that is intertwined with the whole. So whatever you choose to manifest, if you are out of balance, the world around you is going to be out of balance, because that is the projection that you are creating. That is the reality that you are creating. It is projection of your inner world. And in order to shift that reality, it requires self-discipline to go into these root issues and to continue to dig into the stuff that feels uncomfortable, because rebirth, death and rebirth is uncomfortable. But in that, you create your world, you shift your reality. And so it's time to align with your abundance. And perhaps you're also, you're definitely being called to meditate here. And this is a very powerful practice. 2 minutes at a time, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. You can get on YouTube and search a guided meditation, but also your dreams. So maybe writing down your dreams, as they can be messengers. But like I said, maybe look into that psilocybin therapy as well. Enter your vortex. Enter your vortex and co-create with the universe, because that's how you align with infinite abundance. Getting out of, what did I say, that poverty, that lack mentality. It's time to release these limiting attitudes. It's time to release, and it's time to heal and manifest something new. Let go of the heartbreak, right? And heal your relationship to the goddess, to the Mother Earth, to your mother, to your inner feminine. It's time to heal that. And you are doing it. You are digging into it. You're just being asked to go a little bit further. What did I say? Rebirth, death and rebirth. It's uncomfortable. Rebirth, personal freedom unleashed. Because with this, you are free. You are the creator of your environment. 7, that's a spiritual rebirth, where the chains are broken. The chains are broken, and you're free to fly, right? If you feel trapped right now, if you feel bound, these are chains of your making, my love. And I know that can be a hard message to hear, but you can create the web, or you can be trapped by it. And you're being asked to move forward. And look at, again, more green, more healing, more heart opening coming through. I know you're doing a lot of healing right now. That's coming through very, very clearly. You're just being asked to do more and being a conscious manifester in your own reality. I'm also getting a message here with feathers too. Feathers coming across. And I heard feathers before I started, and I was kind of drawn to pull my feather out here. So this is actually a junior bald eagle feather that was given to me by a native group. I'm not generally supposed to have these, but it was a gift, and therefore I'm allowed, I suppose. But I'm getting the message, and before I started, something about feathers. If you're seeing feathers, if feathers are popping up around you, these are messages from spirit. These are confirmations, and they may be even loved ones trying to communicate with you across realms. So just a message for you there in terms of feathers. Keep your eye open for feather confirmations. Okay. Spirit world. Whoop. More green. Harmonize. Let your light shine. What did I say at the beginning of this message? Twins coming into harmony. A death and rebirth here. balancing that masculine and feminine, because you're intended to be a light in this world. You're intended to help reprogram the whole and to touch, be that light in the darkness. And you are that, that thread of the whole. Your energy, your light, everything you touch around you creates a ripple effect in the world. And if you're finding this, then you are a powerful one. And so healing that heartbreak, right? And shifting realities, shifting dimensions, shifting worlds, this all starts within. And even this alignment here, this reminds me of the spinal connections, the neurological system, the parts of the brain, right? Finding harmony with the head and the heart, and then connecting to the rest of the whole, because you create your own consciousness. You create your conscious reality around you. And some of us, it's hard for us to swallow that sort of pill where we are that powerful, right? We are that powerful. But connecting your head into the heart and those root issues, this is what's going to bring everything online. This is what's going to allow you to rebirth and align with your divine abundance and be free. These are beautiful messages. And again, look at all the green coming through. Heart connection, heart opening, connection to Mother Earth. It's beautiful reading. Divine creativity. So more butterflies coming through, rainbows, and all of these cards. Even what looks like to be a little peacock feather there. But this spiral that you see in all these, this is also part of sacred geometry. I want to say Tesla's 369 formula, right? Everything is got equal measurements, and essentially this spiral out, this is the way that, down to the smallest thing. The whole is just the recreation of the smallest form of it. It's the same no matter how small you get. So no matter how small you feel, know that you are this beautiful, intricate, incredible butterfly that's part of the whole. It's, the butterfly theory, that even the vibration or the change that's made by the feathers of a butterfly can change the reality around it, or if you believe in the multiverse theory, can create ripple effects through the entire universe. And you have this power. 10 receiving cosmic intelligence. So I think nothing about, and then the last one, feminine twin, activating higher self. And it was more the feminine that was coming through. So see how she's glowing and online there. You're being asked to connect and heal that feminine side of yourself so that you can connect to the whole and be a very powerful conscious manifester in the world. So I think that's a pretty clear message there, my love. I'm just going to get a couple self-love mantras for you, and then I'll let you go, okay? I hope this has been a helpful, seemingly very powerful message for you. Please let me know, like, subscribe, comment. I love myself. Totally in the now. Healing means to make whole and to accept all parts of myself, not just the parts I like, but all of me. Exactly, even those nasty root parts, those dark parts, because those are beautiful too, okay? And that's, definitely the overarching message of this is, dark and light, that's all part of the universe. It's all part of the things around you. And loving yourself right now, self-love, is so integral to your spiritual evolution right now. That death and rebirth, loving yourself just the way you are, and continuing to love the parts of you that are coming up for healing, right? Those root issues, and then making peace with them, grounding them, burying them, right? Burying those seeds so that they can bear fruit. What a beautiful message. Beautiful message. The tree can only go so much in a day, my love, and the most powerful oaks that you see come from the smallest seed. and they have weathered, you know, infinite storms. Lifetime after lifetime, I am a shining spirit, a beautiful light. Let your light shine. You are a beautiful light in the universe, lifetime after lifetime. You know, energy is never lost. It just takes, you know, a different form, and a million miracles had to happen for you to be here right now on this planet. And you're being asked to use that power, that cosmic intelligence that's programmed within you. You are divine. You are divine creativity. And you're being asked to share it, to create a new world. I am always safe. I am eternal. I will go on from forever, from experience to experience. You are the divine universe seeing itself, right? So if you're feeling separate from the whole, you're being asked to tap into that divine creativity. And like I said, this may be really challenging some spiritual beliefs that you've been conditioned to have, right? Or that have been programmed into you. But you are God. You are the goddess. You are the universe creating through itself, seeing itself through itself. I say yes to opportunity and abundance. It's time to release this lack mentality and align with the infinite gifts of the universe, to dream your biggest dreams. I attract prosperity with ease. I constantly receive incredible gifts from life. Yeah. And I think I'm going to stop right there. The message is very clear and very, very beautiful. So, thank you guys. Sending all my love. Bye-bye.